Hey, it's Jacqueline. For the next few minutes, we're going to be working on driving downhill using low gear. If you're driving an electric car, you won't have a low gear. But if you're driving a gas vehicle, your low gear will either be the letter L, maybe the number 3, or in my car, it's the letter B. As we prepare to turn this corner, I see in the left corner a yellow sign that says steep grade, use low gear. And so I put my car in low gear, and the low gear gives more brake resistance or tension. Just like if you were riding a bicycle and you put the bike in lower gear, it would be tighter. And that tighter engine assists the brakes, so you don't have to use as much brakes. You still have to use your brakes. But as you're going down a steep hill between the low gear and using the brakes, it'll keep you at a safe speed. On this hill, the speed limit is 20, and that's because we want to make sure that we're at a slow speed so that we can stop when we need to avoid pedestrians. You might feel a little bit more of a rock when you brake when you're going downhill, and that's just because the weight of the vehicle sort of rocks forward. That doesn't mean that you're bad at braking. It's just gravity working against your car. I don't have to put on my brake to change gears. It's something that you can do while you're driving. And low gear is actually good for between 0 and 30 miles an hour. So I don't have to worry about switching back into drive quickly when I get off the hill. I have time to do everything. The only time you would really think about switching back to drive is if you were going to hop on the freeway all of a sudden. There's another yellow sign, steep grade, use low gear, reminding us if we weren't already in low gear that we need to put it on. I hope that you will find yourself in fabulous places where you'll be going up and down fabulous hills, and there might not be a yellow sign to remind you to put your car in low gear, but I hope that you will always remember low gear is the safest gear when you're going down a steep hill. I feel that little extra rock when I'm coming to a stop on a downhill. And at this next intersection, there's one more sign, steep grade, use low gear. They're very serious. If you weren't already in low gear, then you would definitely put it on now. And by using low gear, maintaining your speed, you will travel down hills safely without feeling like you're going to slip and slide out of control. And now that we're down at the bottom, I'm just going to quickly go back to drive and continue my journey. I'm going to exit a traffic circle with many roads leading out of it. So I put on my right turn signal to tell people I'm exiting. And now I'm just going to travel. I'm still going downhill, but I don't have my low gear. So I just sort of rest on my heel. I don't accelerate. And if I pick up speed, I just gently apply pressure to the brake. So that's another way to control your speed if you're on a gentler incline. I was going to say gentler incline, but gentler decline. You can just let the car roll and you control your speed by using the brake. I'm going to accelerate gently just to get some forward momentum. But as soon as I feel like I'm reaching the flow, the speed limit being 25, I just rest on my heel and I tap my brake every now and then so that I don't accidentally pick up too much speed. It's really common to accidentally pick up speed on downhills. in life and on your driving test, you don't want to accidentally pick up speed. So you want to be aware at all times how to control your speed. So right now I'm going downhill and I'm not accelerating at all. I'm resting on my heel and I'm just letting the momentum of the car and the slight grade of the hill to just keep me flowing safely at the speed limit. And all the way down this hill, I have the momentum and the sweet roll to just keep me going. I'm not accelerating at all. And you see up ahead that I am in a perfect speed. I got the flash of 25. I see the yellow lights and the pedestrian crossing, so I pause and then I continue across safely. Notice that I didn't have to come to a full stop to let the pedestrian cross safely. I only had to notice them, slow my speed, pause slightly. They stepped off and then I continued. So when you're driving, it's important to know when to go, when to stop, when to slow, and when to keep flowing. And that is important because the cars behind me are expecting me to be predictable. And if I slammed on my brakes suddenly it would startle everyone. So I keep the people ahead of me safe and the people behind me safe by being predictable. The only time I've ever really been scared as a driving instructor was when I was driving with a student who was super nervous and wanted to slam on her brakes every time she saw anything. And slamming on your brakes is a great way to get rear-ended. And of course, I'm being sarcastic. Please avoid slamming on your brakes. If you have to come to a stop, you're going to slam on your brakes to avoid collision, obviously. But the best case scenario is that you're doing your traffic scan so you notice everything ahead of you, so you never have to slam on your brakes. Now we've come all the way down the hill, and I'm going to practice pulling over to park parallel to the curb with a safe distance. And I can see in my right mirror that I'm parallel. I've got a nice distance between me and this driveway opening, so I'm not blocking the car ahead of me. And I hope that you enjoyed our downhill ride. And please remember, when you're going down a steep hill, you want to control your speed. To control your speed, you can use low gear and also tap your brake. And you can use the momentum of the car to just keep your speed going, slowing down as necessary. Thanks for learning, and I really appreciate that you're taking the time to figure out all of the skills that you're going to need to be a safe driver as you plan to travel to all the wonderful places, uphill and downhill, throughout California.